Please welcome the director of Splendida Moarte Accident, Sergiu Negulici. Good morning, Sergio.
Morning.
Sergio, it's your first personal film, I think, as an animator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Previously, you worked with Anka Damian on Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
What was your role in this important project?
It was the Romanian part of the film, and we built a small studio for the film. And she knows me. I worked a lot in advertising. I foreigned in there, and it was my first film, my feature film.
And for Splendida Moarte Accident, you begin a film with a reference to the Dada movement. The owner of the antique store tells a story about Marcel Iancu, an historical figure, famous architect, and he introduced other characters. Stefan Dinescu, Marta Dinescu, Gelu Paun. It's not clear if these other characters are historical or fictional. Tell us about this.
No, they are real characters, but we changed the name just for the main characters. But the rest of them are real. Yeah, that woman I discovered in the elder home. It was 105 years old when I found her.
Wow.
Yeah, and
you met her and you interviewed her?
Yeah, and surprisingly, she recognized the letter. 70 years old. She was wrote it by her for a Romanian poet. But what intrigued me was that that poet was married with and she was very in love with her wife. So the whole poetry was dedicated to her wife. So it was kind of I don't know.
But the conclusion of the film, the end of the film is quite different because the woman, she says something like, no, it wasn't written for him, and I don't remember exactly for whom I wrote the letter, and it doesn't matter anymore.
No, I bought the drawing. I bought the drawing with the story behind, but I was curious that is real. The story is real, so I tried to make a research about her life, and the film is my research with a few moments in her life, and the train is like few interpretation of her life till the end when she said it's not for him. I don't remember, so I was like in the first beginning with nothing clear.
As soon as we entered in the train, your technique is different, the aesthetic is different. So tell us about these two levels, I would say, in the film.
So for the reality, for the first beginning, I used the style of the drawing. When the 2D drawing, it was very poor sketch with her with on a wooden wooden bridge. So he tried to suicide, but I didn't know it. And the train is my interpretation of her life, because I graduate in sculpture, and my point of view is more three-dimensional. So it's a combination between her drawing and my interpretation of her life.
And when I looked at the film, it reminds me another famous animation short, Madame Toutli Poutli by Chris Lavis and Maciek Zabowski. I was curious to know if you ever saw this film.
Now, I saw it before. It's a great film, but I had no reference for my movie, because the only reference for my movie, it was a phrase of a poet who said that the life is like a train, and every so you cross the train, and that's all.
Question dans la salle, questions from the audience. Yes, Martin?
If this was an antique artifact that was by if the painting was by a famous artist, and there was reference to another famous writer or artist, then wouldn't is this really something you just bought at a store? It seems like it would be something that would be on auction in a collection. Right?
No, it was a very poor sketch. The artist, I didn't know it, even if I graduated the art university. She was not a very known artist.
Oh, okay.
She is right now, because she died, and she died at 106 years old. She probably, that's why.
It's usually a good way to become famous.
Yeah. You have to live longer if you are not good enough. But no, it's not that she intrigues me. It was just the love letter
Right.
for that Romanian poet, and she wasn't her wife, so that's
Yeah.
why.
The letter. It seems like that's always the most important thing in the film for you. When she says it in the film that she doesn't remember who it was for, we don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
But if you say she was 105 years old when you interviewed her, then maybe. But did she say it in a way that she was just continuing to be discreet, or?
No, I was just curious, but a second time she didn't want to see me, so I suppose that the letter was real.
Right.
And she doesn't want to have any part of the in my movie.
Right.
So that's why I had to change the name.
One last question. Here.
I wonder how does it come that you have to use so many different techniques in your movie? And I have also a personal question about the fact that you use light inside the bodies, inside the hands. You want to make light inside your characters.
I use just two techniques. One in the first beginning, and then the train, and back in reality with 2D techniques is nothing with.
And he also asked you about the lighting, the fact the light came from the character or was inside the character.
No, the characters are paper-like, so I want to see the light going through the material a little bit, and to everything to be a little bit lighter than like a dream, to be a little bit to not be heavy history.
Thank you very much, Sergiu.
Thank you.